Subscriber alert, subscriber alert! Your friendly neighborhood YouTuber is rated A for awesome. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and you're welcome. Enjoy.
He chose the path of perpetual torment.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the show. Alright guys, so we are going to be doing a review and we're going to be doing a custom tutorial, I guess, of this Omega Spawn. There are some things about him that are not quite accurate, some things I'm not really liking off the bat. One thing is this chain across his chest. I feel like it's taken away the detail of his chest. And I don't really care too much for the rubberized chain, so I'm probably going to be removing that. As you guys can see on the back, there is no chain on his chest, but there is a chain around his waist. So it's a possibility I'll probably be putting the chain around his waist, maybe. He does also have the red cape as well, so we're going to be adding some red details because he's got some red going on here as well. But on his cape, he doesn't have any red that I can see. Let's go ahead and pop this open. And if you guys are here tuned in today, I just want to say thank you very much, man. As you guys know, I'm a huge Spawn fan. Obviously, if you've been watching my channel for the past 4 years, you guys know I pretty much reviewed almost every single freaking Spawn figure known to man. I say probably about 90%. So there's the box, there's the black circular base, nothing really else going on that I can see, that I know of. But there is Omega Spawn. There's the UPC if you guys give a shit. So there is Omega Spawn. Let's take him out of the package, and he just has, yeah, he has a bunch of, okay, you know what, let's jump forward to him already out of package. Okay guys, so as you guys can see, I cut this cape in half. I glued a red piece to it. Of course, I'm going to paint over it, but being that I have it glued in there, I'm going to put it back on his back right here, so this way it will stick. So the cape actually came off nicely, and I'm going to put this back in here, sit it back on his shoulders, like so. And as you guys can see from the front, I removed the top of this chain. I'm probably going to leave this part right here alone because, as you guys see, I cut off, where's the bottom piece? The bottom piece right here, I cut this off because it just kind of was hiding a lot of the detail in there. So I cut that off. But this right here is pegged in there and it's glued. And actually, I think it looks better with just the one chain. He's kind of rocking it like he's in a rap group or something. I don't know, like he's a rapper. Should give him another chain and call him 2 Chains. But there is the back piece right there. There's the glue right there. I'm gonna put some more glue on it, make sure it stays. There's the little cape. I might add some more pieces to it, but I'm eventually gonna paint over it. I'm gonna paint black. I'm gonna paint this as well, but it's definitely way lighter. Yeah, I'm gonna touch up the cape as well. I had to take his head off. I'm definitely going to be painting this, but I'm going to wait for this to dry, the cape, which just fell off. Yeah, I'll put that back on there. I got to wait for it to dry, though. Then here is the bottom piece of which I cut off. Don't know what I'm going to do with this. This is like a hard rubber plastic. Might save it for some parts. Who knows? But this is how the cape looks, and it's still heavy. So I removed a bulk of the cape to get rid of some of that weight. Okay guys, we are back. So let me show you some of the things that I did, some of the noticeable changes. So this guy had a lot of twists and turns when I was customizing this guy. Let me bring my camera up just a little bit. So obviously the noticeable change is the chain right here. I cut that in half. One of the main reasons why I cut that in half and got rid of it is because I didn't like it covering up his entire body. I felt like it was missing a lot of detail right here. It was covering up a lot of detail on his chest. So I cut that in half. So now he's just wearing a chain like your favorite rapper. So I did that. Another thing I did is I highlighted a lot of the marks on his body, the bumps. I added a lot of silver to it, silver on his arms right there to blend with his spikes and his chain. Speaking of his chain, I went over his chain with the silver, so it looks more like a silver chain. I even did the bumps on the legs right there. Even painted the toenails. I gave him a pedicure right there. Even a manicure on his claws, his chest area right there. The main thing, as you guys can see, is I gave him a cape. So I got rid of that clunky cape and I gave him this customized cape. I'm still working on it. I still want to add some more black to it, but I customized this right here. I added some more red and black to blend in with the cape right here. I cut this off because it was just too damn heavy and too bulky. It was like weighing him down, but I still wanted to keep this piece right here. So, and because it looked really, really good on him, his head right here, I customized his head, threw some red paint on there, red paint on his fur, the chest on there, added some silver detail. Here is his hand. Now let me tell you something about his hand, guys. This happened by accident because I was trying to heat his hand up and close it to where I can put a weapon in his hand. The fucking thing like broke on me and it snapped in half, and there was no way for me to put it back on there other than to glue it, but it wasn't going to stay anyways. So I decided just to remove the entire peg and give him a new hand. So what I did is I painted his hand black. This is actually a Carnage hand, a Marvel Select Carnage hand, and the peg fit perfectly in there. So I gave him this hand right here as a weapon. It is fully articulated. He does have the claws. I painted the claws. I painted the black on him. Still might go over it with some more, with some more black right there. But I gave him a weapon. I wanted to give him a weapon and put a weapon in his hand, but that didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to. So I gave him a hand, that hand right there. I gave him a hand job. I gave him a hand job. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I got rid of that cape. I wanted to give him a cape. And I gave him this right here, that's a little bit more lighter than that big old heavy bulky cape. I probably could have shaved it down a little bit. Let me stand you up right here. It was really hard to improve on this guy because in theory, I wanted to get rid of this big bulky chain right here. But the one thing that sucked is it was sculpted onto his chest. And I was like, you know what? I'll just leave the top chain on it. It's sculpted onto his chest, but the bottom chain wasn't. And here's the big bulky cape right here. This weighs a fucking ton right here. So I took away most of the weight by getting rid of this big bulky cape and giving him like a cloth cape in the back, and yet still keeping this right here, the top of Omega Spawn. Still keeping that detail on him and just adding highlights of red and black on him and then red on the horns. He's still fully articulated. He weighs a lot less without this shit being on him. And yeah, he turned out good. You know what I mean? I feel like it kind of sucks that his hand broke because I was trying to put this under hot water, mold it to where he was able to hold a weapon. But then again, he looks great without the weapon, because his hand acts as a weapon right there. So yeah, he turned out really, really, really good. So let's do a measurement and we'll do some comparisons real quick. So Omega Spawn stands at about a little over 8 inches tall. He's at 8 5/8 tall. So let's do some comparisons. Let's bring in Bane. If you guys are wondering, Bane is actually a little bit bigger than Omega Spawn. How about my custom Deathstroke? That's how he measures up with my custom Deathstroke. Let me see. How about let's do my custom Deadpool, or not Deadpool, Red Hood. Red Hood. Custom Plague. That's how he measures up Plague right there. Let me see. Custom Nightmare Spawn. That's how he measures a custom Nightmare Spawn. And how about let's do a custom comparison with Predator, custom Predator with Nightmare, or with Omega Spawn. Holy shit. Custom review of King Spider. And then how about let's do Salmon Twitch. Salmon Twitch right there with Omega Spawn. This is a case that they can't crack. Omega Spawn versus Salmon Twitch. And then how about let's do a custom Bruce Wayne right there. And then how about custom custom General Predator. Holy shit, there's a lot of names I'm trying to remember here. That's how he measures up. And then last but not least, let's do a side-by-side with Spawn. Nice villain for Spawn. Alright guys, I like this guy. You know, when I first got him out of package, he was probably like, I'll give him like a 7.6. With my custom modifications, I think he's at like a 8.4. You know, it's really difficult to do the customs that you want, especially when McFarlane sculpts a lot of these pieces into the chest. And he gives us these big, bulky, you know, pieces that, you know, we're trying to figure out something to do with, you know, and trying to manage it, but yet still keep the original sculpt. So this one was definitely a challenge. This was probably, I want to say, my toughest custom to figure out, because it was like, all right, where do I go with this guy? How do I make him to my liking? You know what I mean? How do I get rid of this chain to where I can see the sculpt of his body? How do I get rid of this giant cape without getting rid of the cape? You know, how do I add weapons to this guy even though he doesn't have closed fists? You know, so it was a challenge overall, and at the same time, you know, doing these minor little details, adding these like silver little marks on his body to blend in with the other silver that he has on his chain, you know, with his chain and with his spikes as well on the side, blending that and, you know, making him complete, you know, trying to make him complete with the silver touches, with the claws and with the feet and with all the little minor details that McFarlane left out, or always seems to leave out. Alright guys, so there was my little custom Omega Spawn. Probably the most difficult one so far, I would have to say. It took me several days to figure out what I wanted to do with this guy. So there was my custom Omega Spawn. Let me know how you feel, guys. Did you guys do any customs to him, or did you leave him as is? I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next review. Peace out.